Today on Washington TV. North Korea preparing long-range missile launch. Petraeus says Iran still supporting Iraqi militants. General Motors files for bankruptcy protection. Mideast peace trumps Iran nuclear threat, says Egypt. 5 people killed in an arson in southeastern Iran. Ahmadinejad, I will reveal the dossier of the past 24 years. And Majlis Speaker, Zahedan bombing will not affect Iran election. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.
Today's top stories. Egypt's presidential spokesperson Suleiman Awad said yesterday that Cairo believes that a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is more important than confronting Iran's nuclear ambitions. Awad told reporters, quote, "With regard to attempts to say Iran is a common danger, President Hosni Mubarak's and Egypt's priority is on the Palestinian issue." Awad was referring to what he called Israeli media reports that Israel and Arab countries felt equally threatened by Iran's nuclear program, which the West suspects as a military aim. 5 people were killed in an arson attack in the southeastern Iranian city of Zahedan today, just days after a deadly suicide bombing at a mosque there killed 25 people. The attack on a financial and credit building today came as Iranian authorities were rounding up more suspects in Zahedan, who were accused of sowing sectarian discord there. The new wave of arrests comes 2 days after 3 men convicted of involvement in the mosque bombing were executed in public in Zahedan. Foreign Minister Motaki today described the incidents as part of a greater effort of creating a security threat environment of the June 12th presidential election. An informed Iranian source yesterday denied media reports that Azerbaijani authorities had arrested an Iranian man in connection with a plot to attack the Israeli embassy in Azerbaijan's capital, Baku. An Azerbaijani court official said today that 2 Lebanese men and 4 Azerbaijanis are standing trial on terrorism charges. The men are suspected of being tied to the Iranian-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah and Iran's Islamic Revolution Guards Corps. The Los Angeles Times reported that a number of other suspects, including Iranian nationals, had escaped to Iran when police moved in to arrest the group. However, the unnamed Iranian source rejected the report as unrealistic and baseless.
Today in election news. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad today in a gathering of the people of Pakdasht, a small town in the southeastern part of the Tehran province, criticized what he called violations of the oil industry and other ministries, accusing some ministers and deputy ministers of previous governments to have favored their personal interests over the rights and interests of the nation. The president said he would reveal the case of those who had occupied centers of power in the past 24 years, and added, quote, "In Tehran, some people admitted to using public funds to their personal benefit and for the benefit of their friends, to the tune of hundreds of millions of tomans, and then we saw how they were at the end portrayed as heroes." At the same time, Mohsen Rezai, another presidential candidate in the upcoming election, said today in the west central city of Shahr-e-Kurd that people are tired of political quarrels. He called on politicians in various political factions to stop their squabbles and recommended to the people not to hand the future of the nation to anyone just because of feelings and sentiments. Addressing a group of his followers today in the western city of Hamadan, presidential candidate Mir Hossein Mousavi called for the staging of a free election, saying, quote, "Let the people think freely, criticize freely, and hear what everybody has to say." Mousavi, who was speaking at the sports stadium of Kurdistan province's capital city, also condemned any political actions which aim to discredit the grandeur of the people. He said, quote, "However much you distribute money, you will still be unable to sully the grandeur of the people and buy their votes." Meanwhile, reformist candidate Mehdi Karoubi said in the northeastern city of Mashhad today that the upcoming June presidential election differed from past elections in that the basis of the late leader Ayatollah Khomeini's Islamic Revolution was republicanism, Islamism, and Iranianism. However, Karoubi added that today circumstances are such that all 3 of these principles are being threatened. He said that participation in the election must curb this threat. Speaking to reporters today on the question of the Zahedan bomb attack and its possible links to the upcoming presidential election, Majlis Speaker Ali Larijani said that however blind such actions might be, they had no impact at all on Iran's elections. On the contrary, he added that such incidents made the people even more aware of their destiny. Larijani noted that Iran had staged elections under circumstances which were even more difficult than the present, and said that the Zahedan incident was planned by foreigners. He added that if the perpetrators of that attack think that they can injure the decision of the people with such acts, they have not yet understood what Iranians are made of. Also today, Kamran Danishju, the head of the state election headquarters, addressed all presidential candidates and their supporters, saying that some speeches and posturing which were aimed at denigrating a particular candidate will not make the friends of the revolution happy, but might, in some instances, even disillusion the people. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.